Hey, glad you joined us. This is Jason. I'm Tim. This is called Real Life Issues because we know all about real life issues. Nobody else knows about them. It's just us. That's why we talk about it. In fact, YouTube called us and said, will you please talk about real life issues because nobody else knows. I'm kidding you. We're just, two guys. We're talking about that. And we try to give you a biblical worldview about it, Sure. But whether you're a believer, whether you're a Christ follower or not, we hope that these things speak to you. And Jason, what we're going to talk about today, you brought it up, and I thought this is a great subject, and that's where life situations, life experiences, they define us many times. Yeah. Or let me rephrase that. We allow them to define us.
Sure. Our failures sets us. Whenever I started off going to, I got asked to preach at a church for the very first time.
Yeah.
And I went in and had all my notes. I was ready. I never really had done that before, but I had all my notes ready and had everything there. And I looked outside and I looked in the corner, and there was a guy who I thought a long time ago I did a lot of sinning with. And I saw him, and the next thing you know, my notes got mixed up, and it bothered me, and it was the worst experience of my life. So later, I called him back because I really wasn't going to be a preacher. I was just filling in.
Oh, okay.
But I called him back, and I said, listen, you heard from me last time. Let me let you hear from the Lord. And I realized it wasn't even the same guy, but the devil was using my past to cause me to sit back and not do anything.
Wow.
So I released it at that moment.
And I consider you to be one of the better communicators. I really do. I enjoy hearing you speak and share and preach and teach. So that would have been a horrible thing if you had let that one situation keep you from doing.
And the devil knew where to grab me because you're ashamed of those things that you used to do a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. What are some things that we as individuals go through? We might feel ashamed about them, or they might have been considered failures, or we didn't meet the bar of that social status that we. What are some of those things that would affect an individual?
I get out and I invite people to church, and someone will say, well, I can't go there. That's where my old boyfriend used, that's where they go to church, or I can't go there. My neighbor that I have a problem with, they go to that church, and so, and they're really not even thinking that Christ has moved in situations or could move in that situation and could either heal it or it's already been forgiven and or forgiven.
Did you say forgiven? Yeah.
Roll Tide. No, forgiven. But he could have already done that, but yet we still hold on to it because somewhere in our heart we still hold on to those things, and I can tell you, being ashamed is horrible.
Yeah. So I would probably put in that category people that experience divorce.
Oh my goodness, yes. Oh good gracious. They say that divorce is worse than death because you still see the other person. So
wow.
So I can see that, and hey, in our church we have many people that have had failures in their marriages, and it's something that we have to go through.
Right. That should not define the rest of their life, though.
No,
divorce is not the end of all things.
That's right. I know some people that the devil puts that guilt on them, that they may have a wayward child, and they're not even the ones that's doing it, but the wayward child is, well, I just should have been a better parent.
Guilty.
So, the devil does it.
Yeah. Well, I've met individuals also that have failed in their vocation, in their job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, speak to that.
Well, there's times that, hey, you may have been fired. There's times that you could have done wrong, or you could have done right, and it was seen wrong, and you get hung up, and now you don't want to take a leadership position, or now you don't want to even be seen because someone may know something about you in the past. Well, this is what this is about. It's about being born again. I don't know about you, I have to be born again regularly, not saved going to heaven,
right.
but I have to be forgiven for the things
Regenerated,
I've done.
constantly regenerated.
Hey, I'm not defined by me.
Yeah.
That's not my identity. My identity is in Christ.
Yeah,
He makes me better.
And here again, you take that individual. What was it? Abraham Lincoln. Oh my gosh. He went through so many failures. I wish I had that in front of me. So many failures. He lost a job. He lost his wife who died. He lost this political loss, this political loss. And then finally he becomes president. And then what defines President Lincoln?
Yeah.
That assassination, that the slavery thing. And we should look at him as a great man and what he did, not for all the things that he failed or succeeded in. That's what I wish people could get from this podcast today. Don't let your life and what you've gone through define who you are and what you're doing now.
Right. I mean, look at Ruth. We spoke on Ruth last Sunday. Mm-hmm. Look at Ruth. Ruth, she was a daughter-in-law, and her husband died, and her father-in-law died, and she followed her mother-in-law to a country that wasn't her country. But the whole time God was working in that situation, and his I can't think of the word I was talking. I even preached on it Sunday. The providence of God.
I was even listening, so I don't know.
The providence of God was working, and that providence of His, where He was in charge of everything that was happening, not really making it happen, but He's in control of it. And therefore, even the grandfather of King David, who ended up being one of the great grandfathers of Jesus himself, come from that situation. So, if she would have said, "Well, all of this bad stuff's happened to me. I can't be a believer." Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
what a loss we would have had.
Yeah. You might know it. I'm going to look it up real quick because I can't think what it is. But you mentioned a verse Sunday that God will. Here it is. Here it is. Proverbs 16:9. This is good. Yeah. This is good. The heart of a man plans his ways, but the Lord is the one who directs and establishes his steps. Speak to that.
That's exactly right. God is in charge, and although we do have free will and we are able to make our own decisions, we just don't know that He's so smart. He knows our decisions that we're going to make, and He's there, and He uses those situations and can even make it better. I've in my former vocations, one time I was a landscaper. And what you do in a landscape is that you take the worst situation that you possibly can, and then you make it the prettiest situation that you possibly can. And so many times the worst situation that's there is that's on a piece of property it turns out to be the whole focal and the best part of the whole property after you've landscaped it.
That's good.
Well, God landscapes our lives.
Yeah.
And He takes those things that we're ashamed of and makes it our strength. Suppose that alcoholism is a problem that we deal with. God can take that and allow you to be a minister to help someone else. And it doesn't happen overnight. Sanctification comes through a process. But He can take you and make you great enough to help other people with a problem that you had that was terrible. Finances could be one that you could have horrible situation. Next thing you know,
ruined friendships. They can be revived. This is where grace, forgiveness, and His mercy plays into it. When and let me tell you, the devil is so shrewd. I hate to give him kudos, but he is very good at constantly speaking to your mind and saying, you're not really worthy. You're not really, you failed at that. By the way, people are looking at you. They're not really respecting you because of what you cheated on your wife. You cheated on your husband. You messed up. Boy, he'll just keep reminding you of that stuff.
He will, but we are forgiven and we can become a new person. And there's not a character in the Bible that did not have a failure except for Jesus Christ. He was the only one, and he used all of those.
Yeah, yeah.
And he can use you, and he can use me still, even in my failures. And the things that I used to be ashamed of now can actually be something that is my strength.
Yeah. And you know, to close this up, no doubt we should take what we went through and the things that we knew better. We shouldn't have done those. And we reflect on those, okay? But we don't dwell on those, and we definitely don't make those, allow them to define us. But we do have to look at them and go, I'm not going there again. I'm not doing that again.
That's exactly right.
Man, let this speak to you today. Even if you're not a believer, man, don't let what you've gone through continue to keep you bound and tied up and feeling disrespected and feeling uncomfortable around others. Grow beyond that and make that a learning experience for you. We hope you come to know Christ and to know his forgiveness and his mercy and grace, but we just want you to know you don't have to be defined by what you've been involved in and experienced.
And also you can edify someone else so that they're not defined by what they've done. And you can be a source of hope in the name of Jesus Christ for other people as well.
Great word, great word. Hey, thanks again joining Real Life Issues. We'll see you next time.